here from Orlando City, UK, and fortunately our beloved Lions are back to winning ways, defeating Jacksonville Armada, our Florida rivals, in the fourth round of the US Open Cup last night. What can I say? It's been an absolutely tragic week for the city of Orlando, with one of the worst shootings in US history having been witnessed. It's been absolutely terrible. I mean, a place that's so dear to my heart, to see so many people affected, it's been absolutely tragic, and at least last night's win and game, providing an escape, at least for 90 minutes, for both players and supporters, to get away and forget this terrible tragedy. And, fortunately we got the win. The first game played by an Orlando sports team after the event. In all honesty, it was an average, kind of even game. Obviously Orlando playing after 3 weeks off against New York City. And David Mateos got the winner in the second half. But obviously both myself and a lot of Orlando fans had to contend with a live stream that cut out in the second half. So it was pretty difficult to watch the game, and live blog as we usually do for you guys. But we're going to try our best. We've still got our player ratings for you right now. So without further ado, let's get into them. Carlos Rivas, 6 out of 10. We know Carlos Rivas can be one of the most frustrating players within Orlando. He's kind of like Theo Walcott at Arsenal in that regard. He's got all the potential in the world, but doesn't always convert to his performances on the field on a week in, week out basis. Had a chance first half when Harrison Heath played the ball over to him that he fluffed. That said, he did have a really good free kick just before the half-time whistle on 41 minutes when he tested the former Orlando goalkeeper Miguel Gallardo, who looked worried by a shot that just went over the bar, but inconsistent from Rivas yesterday, unfortunately. 6 out of 10. Earl Edwards, 9 out of 10. I'm going to give our reserve stopper as high a mark as 9. I thought he was absolutely fantastic last night. Obviously, Joe Bendick has played all the games in MLS so far this season. Earl Edwards getting his first minutes in an Orlando shirt in 2016, and he was absolutely fantastic. Every time we needed to call upon him, he was there. Made a cracking save in the first half from Junior Sandoval. Made a few other amazing stops in that first half. Kept Orlando in the game, was calm and steady throughout. 9 out of 10, Earl Edwards. Kevin Alston, 8 out of 10. For me, this guy continues to bang on Adrian Heath's door for a starting berth week in, week out in MLS. I thought he was consistent, steady, assured yet again. I mean, obviously with Rafael Ramos, our usual right back, he rampages down that right wing. Kevin Alston's a bit more reserved in his play, but that said, he still picks his moments to get forward. Again, every time he's been called upon so far this season, I think he's been a very good performer. Obviously a threat as well with a long throw in the opposition half. 8 out of 10, Kevin Alston. Tommy Redding, straight 7 out of 10 for me. Relatively untroubled first half. Obviously this guy has all the ability in the world. The thought is that this guy can do a Matt Miazga, and force his way into Jurgen Klinsmann's US men's national team plans, ahead of schedule as it were. He was relatively untroubled in this game. Obviously Kate had caused us trouble in the pre-season game, but Redding dealt with him quite well. 7 out of 10. David Mateos, 7 out of 10 for me, just like Redding. Obviously in MLS the jury's still out on this guy, kinda. Not as consistent as Aurelian Collin, who's now obviously departed to New York Red Bulls, but ultimately Mateos scored the match-winning goal. Neat flick on, firstly from Julio Baptista from Antonio Nocerino's cross, and then Mateos who put it in. So for that alone, 7 out of 10. Luke Bowden, 7 out of 10. Back in the starting 11 last night. Obviously Breck Shea usually gets the starting berth in MLS for Coach Heath. Luke Bowden back in again today. What can I say about Luke Bowden? He's consistent, rarely lets the team down. Steady, 7 out of 10. Harrison Heath, the coach's son, of course. I'm going to give Harrison 7 out of 10 for last night's performance. Obviously was drafted in from the start against New York City FC in Orlando's last MLS game, where he was very, very consistent, very impressive. Picks up from where he left off last night. Comfortable on the ball, as we all know. Picked his passes wisely, sprayed a lovely ball out to Carlos Rivas in that first half that he then fluffed, but it was a great ball to start off with. Very impressive from Heath, 7 out of 10. Servando Carrasco, 6 out of 10 last night. Was captain in Orlando for the first time. Obviously, Kaka's out injured as the main captain, and Breck Shea on the bench as vice captain. So Carrasco got the nod with the captain's armband last night. A few missed time challenges in the first half. Looked a little rusty. We've seen a big improvement from Carrasco this year in MLS. I thought he's been a steady performer when called upon. Obviously, not so great before that, but it was a bit of a quiet display from Carrasco last night, 6 out of 10. Antonio Nocerino, the bane of many Orlando fans, but I'm going to big him up for his second half performance. I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10 overall. In all honesty, the first half he was anonymous, struggling to find a place where he fits in this Orlando starting 11. But credit to Nocerino, second half he upped his game, got on the ball a lot more, started dictating the play, and ultimately sent in the corner that led to David Mateos' first goal and the match-winning goal, as it were. So 6 out of 10, Nocerino. Hadji Barry getting a start and a big opportunity last night in the Open Cup from the off. 5 out of 10 really. I mean, he was substituted early in the game through injury. In the first half, the opening 20 minutes, he struggled to really get up to the pace of the game. Has been playing regularly for Orlando City B and Anthony Pulis in USL. But this was a bit of a jump up. Didn't really get into the game, failed to make an impact, 5 out of 10. Julio Baptista, finally, I'm going to give Julio Baptista a 6 out of 10 for last night's performance. Got a start from the off tonight. Obviously, he's been used as more of an impact sub in MLS so far. Just 6 out of 10 for me, really. He really should have had the Lions 1-0 up within the opening 3 minutes. Blazed a golden chance over the bar. You'd expect better from a player of his experience. Used his strength against the Jacksonville centre-backs throughout the game. Obviously flicked on David Mateos' opener. I'm going to give him a straight 6 out of 10.